Okay. A very good morning. Let us start the session for today. A warm welcome to our Bookmasters, Brother Hwang, Hualien Dharma team, and brothers and sisters around the globe to Saturday Hualien Dharma Talk. Today I would like to share a short accepted Master's speech. In this endless greed of the heart, contentment is the greatest wealth. In this human world, everyone's life inevitably contains a bit of greed. Greedy for comfort and pleasure, greedy for wealth and glory, greedy for many descendants. The heart's greed knows no end. When you write the word greed, it can sometimes turn into poverty. In this world, greed and poverty bring the deepest suffering. Poverty means lack, and when one is not content, greed arises. A true practitioner must learn contentment, for contentment is the greatest wealth.感恩to Master's teaching. Now let us send our sincere prayers into the 10 directions. May the Sahara land be free from disaster and peace prevails in the world. Let us sing the prayer song with sincere piousness.
In my heart, I feel deep gratefulness. All my heart is filled with sincere prayer. From all corners of the world, let us join our hearts and pray for a world of harmony and peace. In my heart, I feel deep gratefulness. May all the Buddhas hear my prayer. All united with one heart, let us end our hate with love. May there be no suffering hereafter.
May all minds be purified. May there be peace in the community. May there be no disaster in this world. Let us pray together for universal love and blessing. With loving respect, gratitude, and confidence, let us wish every person in our lives a healthy body, an enlightened mind, and a total fulfillment in universal love. Now let us expand this consciousness to include every person in the world, every being in the universe. Let our unified love make this wonderful world even better. Let us all immerse ourselves in the joyful embrace of universal love. Before we hear the wonderful sharing, let us invite our book masters to lead us in paying homage to the Triple Gems. Let us pay our respect for these teachings and explanations to the Buddha and Master Ching by making 3 sincere bows. Please rise, palms together. First bow. Second bow. Third bow. And a bow to our beloved Abode Masters who could join us today. Okay, today we have 3 sharers. As usual, we have Brother Hwang, who will be sharing on the Dharma Insights, and followed by Dr. Kevin Hwang from USA, who will be sharing Recharge Your Body, Mind, and Spirit, the 3 keys to lifelong health. And next, we have Dr. Tan Chun Yeal, who will be sharing on the natural probiotics. Okay, before that, let us invite Sister Ching for the weekly summary. Sister Ching, over to you. 感恩。Sorry, Sister Ching, cannot hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, can.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Hold on. Is there echo?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then you need to
Okay,
off.
I mute already my.
Okay, now it's fine.
Okay, good. So Brother Johan said, each Saturday we gather, calm hearts in steady flow, to learn that kindness lives within, not something that we must show. It moves like breath through our daily life, no force, no strain, no try. A quiet truth that fills our steps beneath the open sky. Brother Joe recalls the teachings shared with images so bright, like drops of dew that glimmer close and vanish with the light. Then fanning wind that stirs the air, unseen yet felt so near, and pouring streams that gather strength, their purpose pure and clear. From small to vast, the meanings grow, the lessons gently blend, revealing that how Dharma's path has no distinct begin or end. Last week, he spoke of vows renewed, of masters and practitioners, both calm and still, whose choices rise from inner wish, not from another's will. One nun was called before her time, surprised yet full of peace. Her joy was pure, her heart was known, her service brought release. Master reminded every soul to choose the path by heart, for only when the calling's true can wisdom's way impart. Then we had Brother Joe Chang, who spoke about the youth mobilization in the 2 typhoons in Taiwan recently. Brother Joe once served with humble heart, now scholar deep in thought. He spoke of storms where kindness rose, where youth and hope were sought. When Typhoon Danas tore Taiwan with winds both fierce and wild, the earth was bruised, yet love arose in every heart and child. From 40 hands they hoped to find, 400 came to stand. With steady heart they cleared the wreck and reached with helping hand. The schools were cleaned, the roofs restored, the morning bright once more, as strangers joined through selfless care to heal the island's shore. Not long after Typhoon Ragas came, the floods returned, the mountains cracked and cried. Once again, the call went forth, compassion as their guide. 18,000 gathered strong. Through storm and choking rain, they dug through mud, yet in their hearts no thought or loss or pain. Each soul became a hero then, no crown or grand acclaim, just hearts that burned to heal the world without desire or fame. From north to south, all Taiwan rose, one heart, one steady grace. From grief was born a brighter bond, a kinder, stronger place. Through tears and mud, they found a song, a chorus brave and true, that love unites when all seems lost and hope begins anew. From something torn, a bloom arose. The storm could not dismay, reminding all the truest strength is love that lights the way. Okay, that's all from me. I'll stop share. Hand over to Brother Chin to introduce our next speaker. Brother Chin, over to you.
Karen, sister, so much for another wonderful summary, and welcome back for another Saturday Hualien session. And we look forward to Brother Joe, who is going to share with his Dharma insights. Brother Joe is here, and you have a haircut, Brother Joe.
Right. It just finally get a chance to try to organize what's on my head, not just in my head, but what's on my head. So I think it's also need some time to organize it a bit. Thank you, Brother Chin, and thank you, Sister Su Ching, for the wonderful recap. I hope everybody had a good week so far. First of all, I'd like to say thanks to everybody who I think persisted, also diligently come online on this platform and share. I think sharing is a very good term in that it's not just about who is talking. I think sharing also means that we are sharing our time together. So even though it's not all the time everybody is talking at the same time, but you're sharing your time with us. You're sharing your life. And I think that's something that the platform I'm very grateful for because everybody is willing to share their time. Everybody's willing to share their experience. And I'm not just talking about, the person that's sharing. I'm talking about sharing this life togetherness together. So that we all have the same history in that in this moment in time, we are together and we build this history together so that you and I have the same history. You and I on this Saturday, on every Saturday mornings, we have the same memory together, and that's called sharing. And I think that I'm very grateful for. Just last night I was thinking what sharing really means. And then it comes to me that it's not just the person who does the sharing, but rather we together are sharing this life at this time together. This instant in life, we are connecting, and therefore we have the same history. We have the same memory together. Okay, so I'm very grateful, and I'm very thankful that you are in my memory as well as I am in your memory, and I think that that's something that I am very grateful for. Okay, so moving on to today's Sutra of Infinite Meanings. As I mentioned, that this is an offshoot. This is sort of the extension from the book study that I'm doing with Singapore, and they're actually moving on to chapter 2 already. But I feel like here I have more time and I have more opportunity to go in a little bit deeper. So even though we started more than a year ago, and we've gone through chapter 1 already, but to me, I linger on topics that I feel are somewhat important that I don't want just just go through. All right, so what is that? I really think that the Sutra of Infinite Meaning is not just, as Master said, connected, but I think that there's so many things that foreshadows. There's so many things that Sutra of Infinite Meanings foreshadows the Wondrous Lotus Sutra. And the reason why I think that is because the Sutra of Infinite Meanings, I believe, opens the door to let every disciple and everybody know that we need to consider changing the way that we learn and we practice. The Buddha gave us a path where it's not just about learning, but it's more about teaching, more about sharing, more about guiding. The reason why this happened, I believe, is because number one, the time is coming up. Buddha is about to leave this world. This was about the time where Buddha had about 7 years more to talk Dharma, to teach Dharma. So I believe that there was a shift, or I don't want to say shift. I think it's just a timing where sort of like a master, a teacher sees that the student is ready. When the student is ready, then the teacher will bring on this course. And the readiness comes from various factors. Timing is a factor, the timing of the student, the maturity of the student, and also the timing of the teacher, the timing of the surrounding. So whatever it is, the Sutra of Infinite Meanings opens the door so that the disciple and the students now understand what they learn is going to be important in helping them to guide everyone else. It's not just learning for yourself, but you're learning to guide everybody. You're learning to help everybody. And as we are going furthermore, we will see that in the Sutra of Infinite Meanings as this door is open more. But I wanted to connect the Sutra of Infinite Meaning, which is the past, because this happens first, to the future, the part that this is foreshadowing, which is the Wondrous Lotus Sutra. And as we gone through chapter 1, and we gone through many parts, the details, the guiding teachers, why this is important, this is a changing world and all of that. As we are going through that, I wanted to sort of bring us fast forward to the future of Sutra of Infinite Meaning, which is the Lotus Sutra. And I want to see the connection, what we saw in the Sutra of Infinite Meanings, and then what comes true in the Wondrous Lotus Sutra. And we're going to see the connections. We're going to see that in the Sutra of Infinite Meanings, that the Buddha opens the door and began talking about the importance of not just oneself understanding the teaching, but the importance of oneself trying to teach and guide other people to understand the teachings. And all the directions that the Sutra of Infinite Meaning point to is that you have got to help others understand too. You have got to help others learn also. It's not about how much you know, but it's about how much you can guide others. And then you can see that the two parts of this requirement. One is you have to understand what the Buddha teach, right? What did the Buddha taught? What did the Buddha say to you? Teach us. On the other hand, you have to learn how to teach what you learn to everybody, to all the sentient beings. So the balance of knowing and guiding, right? The more you know, the more you can guide. But it's not always an equal sign in between. You could know a lot, but you might not necessarily guide a lot because you're not good at it. Some people are very good guiding teachers. Some people are very good understanding the material. Some people are just born scholars. They're really good at understanding and going deeper, but they're not actually good in teaching and guiding. Some people are very good at guiding, but what they know in terms of knowledge remains very limited. So there has to be a balance in between. And we began to see in the Sutra of Infinite Meanings, the balance more shifted towards guiding. It's more important that we learn the techniques and we are inspired to guide. Because while we're guiding, it actually helps us learn and accumulate the experience and the knowledge. And I think that's what the Sutra of Infinite Meaning is guiding us also. It's teaching us also. It's showing us that that's what we need to do. But I also believe that in between the Sutra of Infinite Meanings and the Lotus Sutra, there was a time when the Buddha went into a samadhi or meditation, where the Buddha did not say anything. And all the disciples and all the followers and all the people in the audience are very concerned. Why isn't the Buddha saying anything? Why all of a sudden the silence? And I believe with reason that it was because the Buddha saw the reaction. Buddha saw the reaction of the followers, how they reacted to this call for change. Most people do not jump at the opportunity to change because change is hard, because change itself is difficult. For most people, unless you see a huge, dire need for a change, we would not change. Unless, for most children, for example, unless the mother or the father, present a threat, the children will probably continue to act the way they wanted to act. And I am the same way, right? Unless somebody present a credible threat, you are not going to change. Unless a very clear and present danger is presented, you're not going to change. And I think that is true, not just for us right now, but for people and followers and disciples of the past. So when Buddha presented this idea that maybe instead of focusing so much on learning, you should put more stress on helping and guiding. And most people find it hard to accept because they found it that they have achieved so much by learning on their own. They've accumulated vast amount of wisdom. They have accumulated vast amount of knowledge. And they are doing their own purification. They're helping themselves getting rid of afflictions. Their habitual tendencies are slowly getting rid of all these bad things of the past. They understand the truth. They understand that all these things came from ignorance, came from affliction. And so what we must do to get rid of it. They realize that on their own, they're able to do all this. And they have come up with some result also. However, all of a sudden, the Buddha is talking about a change, that it's not the only way. In fact, if you want to go further, the way that you must go with is you need to know how to guide others. In fact, you will have to guide others. The vast majority of people who do not understand what you understand, who have so much affliction, not like these practitioners, but how do you work with them? Guide them, teach them. That's what we need to do. And so many people were many disciples find it really difficult. And I'm sure that there were pauses. People paused to think and reevaluate. Is this really something that I want to do? Is this really something that I will continue to follow? There were people that were losing confidence. And do not be shocked to find that people are having doubts. Do not be shocked, even when it's the Buddha talking, because it's in nature, it's in our nature to reconsider, is this the best option for me? For most people, it's actually difficult. But eventually, all these ideas would form a majority, and then everybody had to go that direction. But before that, before it reaches a critical mass, some people say it's about 15%, 30%. When 15 to 30% of the people begin to pick up the speed and say, we should do this, then the vast majority will follow. But before that, it becomes very difficult. Before reaching 50% or that 15% or that critical mass, it's very difficult to shift the public opinion. It's difficult. So the Buddha rested in meditation, and people were alarmed. Oh, why did the Buddha not say anything? But I believe this is the time where the Buddha is self-reflecting. He had clearly presented a path forward for everybody. But the people, the followers and disciples, especially the disciples, clearly show that they are not ready and they are not willing. So the meditation, I believe, is for the Buddha to begin to observe, to see everybody, to find out, to look hard and deep, not with their eyes, but look into their heart and soul, finding out why they are refusing to accept this change, to embrace this change. And that's when the Buddha began to formulate the new strategy. It's not just talking to you about what needs to be done, but also taking you along and tell you how this can be done. And I think this is something that the Buddha had done all the time. It's not just first to tell you what we need to do, and then to share with you how this can be done. Because the moment that you hear something that's difficult, most people, I'm not saying most people, they will have this difficulty in trying to be the first one that jumps up and say, let's do it, because most people are lost. So what the Buddha did was, in the Lotus Sutra, Buddha presented various ways, various use cases where we can also benefit from all this, where do not be alarmed, do not be afraid. I will show you how, and I will guide you on how we can do this. That's the Lotus Sutra. That is why the Sutra of Infinite Meanings is the essence, because it tells you the ideals. It tells you what we need to do. It tells you the principles. But the Lotus Sutra is so much longer. There are a total of 28 chapters. The volume itself, it's more than 10 times the volume of the Sutra of Infinite Meanings, because it goes into the use cases. Because all the things that's talked about in the Sutra of Infinite Meanings is sort of acting as a supporting evidence for the Sutra of Infinite Meaning. The whole thing in the Lotus Sutra is something of a supporting evidence for the Sutra of Infinite Meanings. It's trying to tell people, do not be afraid. If you are uncertain about what you want to do, if you are uncertain because you are afraid, well, don't. Because I'm going to tell you how. And it's so much easier to do something after people tell you how. If you just tell me a vision, if you just tell me something that we could achieve, that mental image is important. However, if there is no clear path forward, it still remains very abstract. How do we get there? But somebody will tell you, this is the path, and follow this path, and you will be able to get there. When these things are presented, it becomes much easier. All right, so let's move on to the overview, right? So I believe in chapter 1 of the Lotus Sutra, this is the time when the Buddha was really formulating his strategy, his plan, in thinking about what we need to do. So chapter 1 is really just a connection, a bridge between the Lotus Sutra and the Sutra of Infinite Meanings. At this time, the Buddha did not say anything. The Buddha didn't say anything. However, the two people that were talking were merely completing the setting, letting the future audience know who was there. And most of the people that were in the Lotus Sutra were already in the Sutra of Infinite Meanings because they did not leave. They did not depart after the Buddha finished the Sutra of Infinite Meanings, because the Buddha did not say everybody can go. It's not over. It's not completed. So people stayed, but they have questions. Why is all of a sudden Buddha goes into this meditative state? Why did he close his eyes and not talking? Are we done or are we not done? So this is the chapter that connects the two. So I really believe that this is sort of like the connection, the bridge between the end of the Sutra of Infinite Meanings to the beginning of the Lotus Sutra. So I think that it has several key aspects. Bearing witness, we are about to show you how we can do this. So Sutra of Infinite Meanings is more about telling you where we want to go. But the Lotus Sutra tells you how we can get there. And so it's telling that's why it's much longer, right? Having an idea is easy, right? Master talks about her 3 wishes, right? The world of a world of no disaster, the harmonized society, and purifying our minds, our hearts. That's the goal. It's easy to say, but how do you do this? The how actually is a lot longer than what. So the Sutra of Infinite Meanings sets the goal, and the Lotus Sutra presents how we're going to do this, right? That's why it's much, much, much longer. So in chapter 2, skillful means, this is something that the Buddha uses. And Buddha began talking in chapter 2, directly as Shariputra, one of the most wise disciple, foremost in wisdom in all of the disciple, Shariputra. And the Buddha said, the teaching is infinitely profound. Only Buddha and Buddha alone can understand, and no one else, not even Shariputra, who had been studying and learning from the Buddha for 4 decades. So we can see this, and I think this is part 1 of Buddha's strategy, or Buddha's, guiding. First of all, Buddha will try to locate that one person who is an opinion leader, a public opinion leader, right? Maybe in our world today, it's some YouTuber who has many subscriptions, many subscribers. Maybe it's somebody, in the movies industry or TV industry or entertainment industry who can come up and tell people something and people will follow. Maybe it's somebody in the sporting industry. Maybe it's somebody in the political industry. Maybe it's just somebody who is a opinion leader. And among the Sangha, among the followers and disciples, who is the opinion leader? Shariputra. And that's why Buddha began directly at this person. And not only is Shariputra the opinion leader that makes him the very, very good candidate to be the focus of Buddha's teaching, but also who he is, how he is. Buddha knows his students. Buddha knew that not only is Shariputra the opinion leader, but also Shariputra takes pride in what he knows. Shariputra is foremost in wisdom, and therefore he understands. He has been following the Buddha And he is a very good, Buddha understands him, understands his good, and also understands his shortcomings. So the Buddha knew that in order to get Shariputra really, really want to learn something, he has to be inspired. He has to be motivated. And how do you motivate somebody who thinks that he is very wise? Well, you do it by telling him, you don't know enough. You don't know anything. And that's what the Buddha did. In chapter 2, the Buddha specifically singled out Shariputra to say that Buddha's wisdom, no one can understand, not even a world of Shariputra, not even the world. If the whole world, everyone is like you, and you pull all your wisdom together, you still can't understand it. It's like saying that the truth of the universe cannot be understood if all the physicists, all the astrophysicists put together for thousands and thousands of years of trying to learn, you still can't understand it. And that will, in fact, inspire some people to say, I accept the challenge. And that's what Shariputra did. Shariputra accepted this challenge to say, no, Buddha, we want to learn. We want to learn. Even though this is very difficult, but please teach us because we want to learn. And I think skillful means tells you one thing. In learning the Dharma, in practicing the Dharma, you have to want to learn. You have to want to practice. When in between the Sutra of Infinite Meanings and the Lotus Sutra, the Buddha realized if you don't want to learn, Buddha can force you. Because I will just force things down your throat, and then what? You just throw it right back out. So you have to want to learn. You have to want to earn it. And if you don't want to, then it's what other people force upon you. That's not going to work. So the Buddha knew all this. So he had to inspire one opinion leader to want to do this. Number two, not forced, but be willing, inspire and motivated to learn. And that's when in chapter 2, you have Shariputra asking, pleading the Buddha, please teach us. Please teach us. Only then would the Buddha be willing to say, I will now teach you the teaching that is known as the Lotus Sutra. Okay, so I really think that a lot of the skillful means that the Buddha was talking about was actually in use. This was actually applied right then. So Buddha isn't just talking about you can do this. The Buddha used it on Shariputra to say, see, you have to be motivated, and let me motivate you. And this is what I use. This is what I did. Motivate and guide Shariputra to want to learn. And very quickly, when Shariputra said he wants to, other people follow. And there were other people that decided to quit also, because it's just the truth with people. But that's just always the way it works. But you just have to gather enough so that enough people want to go forward. Eventually, other people will fall in line. All right? Now, so I wanted to, get this foundation really solid, that we know that the Sutra of Infinite Meanings opens the door, and the Lotus Sutra connects. The Lotus Sutra, in fact, is the use cases. So even though it's called skillful means, this is exactly what the Buddha did. Not just teach us the skillful means, but he showed us that's what he did. He guided the foremost in wisdom to do this, with his own knowledge of willingness to do this. And I think that's very important. Okay, so that's the sharing for today. I have to end a little bit early because I have a meeting at 7. So I hope that, coming back to Sutra of Infinite Meanings and the Lotus Sutra, we see the strong connection. And next week, and the weeks beyond, we're going to go a little bit more into the Lotus Sutra, at least for the first 10 chapters. And then we're going to go back to chapter 2, which is the core of what the Buddha is trying to tell us, guide us into not just knowing and learning for yourself, but also learning and guiding for all sentient beings. All right. Thank you, and have a wonderful, wonderful sharing.
Kanan, Brother Joe, thank you so much. And can you turn on your video and we take a photo before Brother goes off? Okay, yes, have a quick photo. And I'm wondering, Brother Joe, what will follow after tomorrow when we end the last episode on the Lotus Sutra?
Yeah, there are a lot of speculations. People are saying Sutra infinite meanings, but the volume of it is very, very short, very, very low. But I hear more. It's going back to. I also hear a lot about it's the Sutra of repentance. I also hear that it's going back to the first chapter. So, a lot of rumors, and people don't want to tell me. Maybe because they know I'm going to tell you guys. They don't want to tell me.
We'll find out on Wednesday.
Yes, we will find out together. Yes.
Yes. All right, Karen, so much. Yes, photo taken. And next, we've got two following sharers, highly qualified sharers, two doctors actually. So we're gonna have the first sharer here, Dr. Hwang. Is a very qualified chiropractor. In fact, he's an examiner in the California Board of Chiropractic, if I understand it correctly. So he's going to share with us to recharge our body, the mind, and the spirit, the three keys for lifelong health. So platform is all yours, Dr. Hwang, all the way from the US.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Yeah. Thank you so much for this opportunity, and I'm really, really excited to be with you, and such an honor to be with you guys in this morning. I really special thanks to Sister Yeal that connecting us, right? Even though we are oceans apart, okay, but I can still feel in your love and passion and your positive energy. All right, give me the thumbs up. Good. All right. Now, thank you. So here is what I like to share is we really like to helping people, right? We serving people, we like to helping, but sometimes we forgot about ourselves. That's why today I'm going to share with you how to unlock our potential with our natural healing power by moving all the interferences that so we can recharge ourselves. And in the three area, which is physical, biochemical, and emotional part. And when I call those three parts, that the interferences to me that I call three T's, which is the first T is trauma, the second T is a toxin, the third T is thought. And that's why they are related to the physical, biochemical, and emotional. Okay. As Master Ching always reminds, healthy body is the foundation for serving others and walking the Bodhisattva path. So we gotta take care of ourselves. Without taking care of ourselves, how can we have a beautiful tool to allow us to helping others? So let's start with what my expertise and what I'm training is the nerve system. Well, I don't know you believe or not, but this is a fact. Nerve control everything. So without the nerve function, we really cannot function any part, because the nerve system has three parts. One is called motor. The second part is sensory. So that's the reason why you know how to move, right? And the sensory is you know how to feel the cold, the hot, and hungry. And the third one is the autonomic nervous system, which is not a lot of patients and a lot of probably people know that, because they come into my office mostly say, well, the pain, which is the sensory part. Oh, I can't move, I can't walk. That means the motor part. But the autonomic system is so crucial, because we think the autonomic nervous system, there's two more branches. One is called sympathetic, the other one is called parasympathetic. So the sympathetic nerve system is when you like under stress, when you're late for the work, you're nervous, you're something happened to you, that your sympathetic nerve shooting very high, and then your parasympathetic going down. Vice versa, when you're reading a novel, a book, and watching a beautiful piece of art, then your parasympathetic going up and then your sympathetic going down. So our body knowing how to regulating those nerve. So we need to keep the nerve system running freely, because we all have a brain, right? This is what the nerve system consists of. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
on top.
Mhm.
And then you have the central nerve going down. And then you have all the nerve branching out, right? And those nerves are going to where? They're going to your organ, your system, your gland, your tissue, your cells. So brain will send a message to the cell, and the cell need to send the message back to the brain. So for example, let's using the heart, right? The brain will tell the heart, say, hey, you got to be faster because you are running. But meanwhile, but on the other hand, the brain will tell the heart, say, slow down because you are not running, you are eating, so you got to slow down. And so the brain will need to know the biofeedback from the heart. So another example, like the stomach, right? So the brain will tell the stomach how much acid it need to secrete so they can digest the food. And the vice versa, the stomach, if the stomach has an ulcer or stomach have an acid reflux, they need to tell the brain, okay, too much, slow down, or they need to heal the stomach. So that loop need to be clear, and then need to be like no interference, no damage. So nerve is like a master control center, and those nerve branching out is like a superhighway. So we need to move in those interferences. Once those nerve interferences will get removed, then you can get as healthy as possible, because the nerve again control everything. So that's diving about the first stressor and how can I remove that, and how that's why I'm going to teach that. So the first one is the physical stressor. Which physical stressor come from what? That come from mostly that you probably know that trauma, right? Like sport injury, car accident, you fell, repeated trauma. For example, you move in one direction, one arm all the time. That's called repeated trauma. Or prolonged sitting, like when you sit too long, and that will causing another problem. So I heard that the prolonged sitting is the what? It's a new smoking. The prolonged sitting is it's called modern cancer. So how can we remove that? That's is very important. So, and there's a Nobel Prize winner, Dr. Sperry. This is what he found out, and then he found out 90% of the brain stimulation and the nutrition is based by spinal movement. Let me repeat that one more time. 90% of the stimulation and the nutrition to the brain is generated by spinal movement. Now you know movement is the key. The movement is so important, because when you move, you give the what? You feed your brain. So at this moment, we gotta move, right? I'm gonna teach you how to move. So the first thing, let's talk about morning. When you wake up in the morning, I want you to do stretching. I believe that you brush your teeth, right? Don't tell me that. I mean, please don't tell me that you don't brush your teeth. But I believe that you brush 2 times. But let me ask you this: when did you brush your spine? You probably say, I never brush my spine, because you can't brush your spine. But do you do something about your spine in the morning when you brush your teeth? The answer is no. But why is that? Because we are talk about oral hygiene all the time. but we don't talk about spinal hygiene. You probably never heard about spinal hygiene. That's why I want to invite you to join me to do the spinal hygiene movement, because spinal hygiene is so important, and it's equally being important to the oral hygiene. They made it by same material, which is the calcium, right? Your teeth is made by calcium. Your spine is made by calcium. So if your teeth can get cavity, your spine can get cavity too. But we don't call cavity, we call erosion, degeneration, spurs, right? And that's the reason why we need to take care of our teeth, we need to take care of our spine. So when you brush your teeth in the morning, 2 minutes, you can also take care of your spine. How do you do that? Very simple. Nowadays, it's all electrical device. So you can just zzz, and you can do stretching on your neck and stretching in your lower back, which is you do bend forward and then you back to the normal position, and you bend backward, and then while you're still brushing your teeth, and then you go to the left, bend to the left, and then you go bend to the right, and then you go and turn to the left, and then you go and turn to the right. That is a spinal hygiene stretching exercise. And then also you can do the lower back, right? So you stand up and then you do lower back. Let's stand up. Let's just everybody stand up. And then we gotta move, because when you move, you feed your brain. So you stand up and then you bend forward, and then you still brush your teeth. And then you bend back, and then you bend backward, and then you go side, and then you go to the side, and then you turn to the left, and then you turn to the right. That's all it takes. 2 minutes in the morning. I want you to do that, and that will really, really protect you from any injury, and it will really, really give you a better posture. Now, you also flossing your teeth, right? So how do you do flossing your teeth? So here is what I'm going to teach you how to flossing your spine, which is the stretching during the day. And I really, really hoping that you guys can open the camera and let's do this together. We are brothers, sisters. Like, come on, let's do this together, because we're going to feed your brain. So let's stand up, and I'm going to show you that how to do the stretching during the day. So you learn how to do it in the morning. You learn how to do it at the nighttime. And then we're going to learn how to do stretching during the day. So what I want you to do is you can put your hand in front of you. All right. And then just go slowly moving out. Slowly moving out. And then as far as you can go. And then trust me, you can get a lot of interest if you're keeping moving forward and forward and forward, and you really stretching your shoulder now. You can feel that your shoulder back is actually stretching. Once you're at the end of the point, what I want you to do is turn around and flip your palm. Now, the key word is I don't want you to go back and flip. I want you to flip at the end of that point and flip like that. Okay? And then we'll continue. Once you've done that, we'll continue push forward. Amazingly, you feel that you can pushing even further for a couple centimeters, and then keep pushing and keep pushing. And that's really the stretching. After that, I want you to keep going upward, 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 slowly. The slow is the key. And all the way up. Make sure that your arm is close to your nose. Close to your ear. Yeah, keep going up and up and up and up. Once you're on the top, I want you to feel like you're going to the moon. You're going to go all the way up. So moving your arm upward more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You should feel good at this time. Stretching every single muscle ligament around your mid back and the shoulder. Now, at this moment, you're going to say bye-bye to each other. The hand will separate. And they're going to go down to like a W position right here. Once you're at the W position, what I want you to do is to moving backwards. Squeeze your scapula. Squeeze your mid back. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. As hard as far as you can, and you feel sore. That is what you need to feel. Once you to the point that you cannot go anywhere, I'm going to show you my back. So once you can't go anywhere, I want you to go meet. The two hands will meet again, right there. Once they meet, I need you to go down this time. So keeping moving downward and down and down. Keep going down. Like you can count five, just like what I did to the top. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once you cannot go anywhere, you just kind of relax your body and put your hand back to the front like this. Got it? Good. We're going to do one more time. We're going to do one time together, like without any stop. Go one. Good. Thank you. Here we go. Start from here, and then we'll take your time. Everybody go different pace, so you don't need to like doing my speed. So we'll just go slowly, moving forward. Make sure that breathe. Make sure don't forget breathing. Good. Keep up. More, and more. Flip. Here we go. Beautiful. Keep pushing forward. Keep pushing. Then going up. Awesome. Good. Thank you for doing this with me. Beautiful. This is a really good stretching. And then going upward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then drop down to the W. Once you get back to the W, going to go squeeze backward. Squeeze. Good. And can go anywhere, then you put your hand back again. Then you're pushing down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then and come back. Good. Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you for doing that. Okay. Do you feel good? Give me the thumbs. Give me the yeah, good, very good. Yeah, you feel that your body like all like a warm up, that you're all stretching. That's what you need to do during the day. That's crossing your teeth. Right? You remember doing this. You remember doing your stretching in the morning. Okay, that will remove all the interferences from your physical stressor. Got it? Now, let's move on to the next one because we only have 30 minutes. So let's move on to the second one, biochemical stressor. So what is a biochemical stressor? Like, for example, the food that causing inflammation, like processing food, purified food, sugar, caffeine, what is it called? Preservative. Those are with the chemical, and those are purified, like a white rice, white flour, processed food. That will causing a lot of inflammation. When you have an inflammation on the nerve system, guess what? You block the superhighway. They cannot communicate. When they not communicate, your health going down. That's simple. So I really, really want you to, when you think about what you're eating, think about this. You are who you are, and you are what you eat, right? So whatever you eat, that make you who you are. So when you eat, choose mindfulness, like choose correctly. Like, for example, eat more natural, whole, plant-based food, like whole food, that kind of things. And avoid fried food, processing food. Drink plenty of water. And then eat like a rainbow. I really, really encourage you guys that with the lunch pack or the dinner, make sure that you have a colorful food on your plate. Like not just one color, 2, like 5 colors, 7 colors, right? Tomato is red, eggplant is purple, and then just make the colorful plate, because when you see colorful, you smile, and that is it will make you good, and then you will like to eat better. And also supplement yourself. Why? Because you would take the probiotic, would like to take the enzyme. Why probiotic is so important? Because a probiotic will give you all the good bacteria. When you have a good bacteria, then it will kill all the bad bacteria, and then they will give you better immune system and reduce the inflammation. Enzyme, please take enzymes. The enzyme will break down all the big particle, for example, carbs, protein, fat. When they break down, for example, if you can break down protein, that means you can absorb protein better and you have a better muscle, right? So that's why we need to have those enzymes to help us to break down those particles. The next one will be omega-3. I mean, your fish oil, you're probably taking it because the fish oil is a super, super important because they were reducing inflammation, especially the EFA. There's a two ingredient in the fish oil. One's called EFA, the other one's a DHA. And then the next one will be the vitamin C and then D and then zinc. That also increasing your immune system and help protect your GI. Remember that the GI, when I say GI, means the gastrointestinal system. You gotta have a good GI. Without good GI, how can you live? Right? How can you have a better nutrient? So please, doing those things, it will remove all the toxin, remove all the interference on the spine, on the nerve system. So always ask yourself, when you take a meal, is this meal really bring me energy or actually take away my energy? So that is how you remove that. Once you remove that, the nerve system will get better. When the system flow better, then you will have a better health. So that will be the key number 2. Diving to key number 3, which is the most important, it's called psychological stressors. Now, we always thinking about that our thought is so powerful, right? That they tell you what to do. They move you. The thought will tell you that, okay, this is what to do, this, do that. So sometimes we really, really like stress out, and the brain, the thought that alter you to do different things and then alter you to different thinking process. So I really want to share, it's called 80-10-10 theory. I don't know if you heard about that. So let me explain that to you. What's 80-10-10? So 80-10-10 is this, that when you, 80% of the things that in your life, you probably can handle that easily. Right? Like, for example, you brush your teeth, you wake up, you know how to do, you can even close your eye and then do things without any problem. So 80% of the thing that is controlled by you and managed by you easily. There's a 10% of the thing in your life that you need to pay more attention. For example, your kids got sick, you have project due, you need to pay more attention and focus on that 10% of things. The last 10% of the thing is not managed by you. It's not controlled by you. For example, earthquake, raining, typhoon. There's nothing that you can do about it. But a lot of people that we put too much attention in that last 10%. And because they put so much attention about that 10%, oh my God, is my kids eating or not? Or is he safe? Is he okay? So we are like so much attention on that 10%, and then they drain your energy. Once your energy go away, how can you handle that 90% of the thing in your life that easily can handle it? So you feel like, oh my God, I don't do anything. I cannot do anything. And that even give you more stress. So I really want you to kind of start practicing that 80-10-10, because if you can take your 90% of thing in your life, don't you think that's good enough? You ace it. That's just, we call A, right? At school, 90% is A. So that's good enough. So practice that for 80-10-10 concept. The other thing that you can do is with the breathing. So I don't know how many of you know that about vagus nerve. And vagus nerve is really the biggest master nerve in your body. And they control your parasympathetic. As I mentioned before, we need parasympathetic nerve to helping us to shut down the sympathetic, because we always on the edge. We are always nervous or in a hardship. So we try to calm down yourself. And in order to do that, here is what you can do. It's called breathing exercise. It's a 4-4s. So 4-4-4-4. So how do you do that? You will inhale for 4 seconds. You hold for 4 seconds. You exhale for 4 seconds. And then you hold for 4 seconds again. So, brother, sister, you don't need to open your camera. We can do this together, okay? And then the good thing is nobody around you. So even though you got it, the few minutes ago, nobody cared, okay? So let's do this breathing exercise together. I want to make more sound so you can hear that 4 seconds breathing. So we'll start with the 4 inhale. So let's go. Let's go. And then you hold for 4 seconds. Then you exhale 4 seconds. And then you hold 4 seconds again. Repeat doing that for 10 times or 15 times. That will really stimulate your vagus nerve. And again, vagus nerve is to calm you. When your mind get calm, when you are in a peaceful status, your nerve will function better. And again, when your nerve function better, then your health will get better. The other, let's talk about a fun fact. I don't know if you know this or not. Do you know how many muscle need to make a smile? You want to take a guess? Show me the number. I mean, with your hand. I mean, whatever. Like you can just show me that your hand or typing anything. 10. Okay, good. It actually take about 20 muscle to make a smiling face. All right. Now the other hand is how many muscle you need to make a sad face, angry face, mad face. Take a guess. Show me the number. 5. Okay. Is that what you say? 5, Mr. Chang? Yeah. Okay. 5. Okay.
50.
It actually, huh?
50.
50.
0.
15 or 50?
50.
50. You're right. About 55 muscle to make a sad face. Now you know why when we smile, it doesn't take any energy. But when you try to be mad, be sad, and angry, it takes so much energy because it drains your energy because you need to make that 55 muscle to make that sad face. So, brother, sister, why we do that, right? Smile, smile, smile. Yeah, and I mean, really, when something happened to you, changing the angle to think different things, just take a different route. Like for example, like let's say you have a flat tire, right? And then you should be so blasting and think about different angle. Oh my goodness, I am not have a flat tire on the freeway. It's actually on the local street. How nice that would be, right? Imagine that if the flat tire happened on the freeway. So always turn around and think positively, using different way to look at things, and that will save your stress, and that will remove all the stressors, and that will give you a better nerve function. Again, the nerve control everything. Okay, now, the next thing I want to talk about. So let's sum it up because we are going to close this one. So think about 3 stressors again, right? Physical, biochemical, and then psychological. So align your body, have a better posture, and then nutrient yourself, and then also calms your mind. When those 3 things get together, and then we can get a better health. Now, most of the people ask me, Dr. Hwang, what do you do for a living? What do you do? I say, I'm the piano tuner. And people say, what? I thought you're the chiropractor. What do you do? What do you think that you're a piano tuner? You sell piano at your office? I said, no. I just use that analogy. Think about that, right? If you want to play a very beautiful song with a piano, you got to tune up every single key. Same thing. We got to tune up every single nerve. When your nerve get tuned up, then you are in a harmony status, and it's called homeostasis. And you're on the ease status. And that's why you are not disease. So when you are not disease, then the disease doesn't come to find you. That's where the disease come from. The disease is because you are disease condition. Does that make sense? Good. So that's the reason why we need to learn how to remove that, and which is I show you that in the 3-fold: biochemical, physical, and also emotional. Now, you know what, brother, sister, you are really the light to bring comfort and compassion to others, right? So we got to shine ourselves first. By doing shining yourself, you got to remove all the stressor and let the nerve function freely from the top down, from the brain all the way to the spinal cord, all the way to your organ. So we call up, down, inside out. And when you do that, so when you move well, eat well, think well, the problem won't find you easily. So move, align your body. again, purify your field, and then calm and uplift your thoughts. And I really, really thank you for all your compassion and your dedication and your presence today. So before we close, I really want to leave some 3 questions for you. Number 1, do you live? Number 2, do you love? Number 3, do you matter? Let me repeat that one more time. Do you live? Do you love? Do you matter? Guess what? You definitely live the way you want to live. And then you definitely love the way that you want to love. And then you're loving other people. The last one is the most impactful and powerful, which is what? Do you matter? Brother, sister, thank you for your service. And thank you all you do. You do matter. And you matter so many people and so many things that in the world that they need you. So thank you so much for the opportunity. And I want you to continue to recharge your body, your mind, your spirit, because that will bring your health, harmony to everyone around you. Thank you so much. 感恩, 感恩.
Thanks so much, Brother Kevin Hwang, for the great presentation on what we should be doing. The first thing we learn in the morning. And you know what? The first thing I do when I get out of bed is to put my palms together and I be thankful for a new day. But the part that when I go and brush my teeth, I'll remember that. I'll remember to do my stretching as I brush my teeth. And my wife is probably wondering what am I doing, but I'm gonna get her to do it.
Exactly. Right? See, this is what we need to tie it up with something that you will do it. If I teach you something that I want 10 minutes, I'm not going to do it. It doesn't work. You got to doing something that is easy and you can do it. So brother, sister, if you really, really enjoy what I'm talking, I will be more than happy to come back and then share more information, because that's what I'm doing. That's what I love to do, to sharing all about the spinal hygiene, because we need that. And that's how we can recharging ourselves for the rest of your life. Thank you.
Absolutely. Again so much for the wonderful sharing, and we look forward to seeing you again. And when you drop by in Malaysia, do let us know.
Oh no. Yeah, you guys are great. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. So we move on to 7:30 now, and so if I may, I will call upon Dr. Tan, who is a family physician, and he's with us now. Dr. Tan Chun Yeal. He's from Singapore. And is going to share with us again on how we should be looking after our body. And so the platform is all yours. On natural
Hello. Hi,
probiotics.
morning. Can you hear me? Hi.
Morning,
Brother Ching. Cảm ơn for hosting. I am Chun Yeal. Good morning to all. Thanks for this opportunity to share with the rest of the people online and the one in Zoom about this common topic. I think we used to read about probiotics, and I think it's a good opportunity to learn together what is it about and how it affect our health. Yeah. Don't mind, I did prepare some slides. Probably I just share the slide first. Okay. All right. Can you see this?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. All right. Before I start, then probably good to know about our guts first, because a probiotic is part of the food, right? So it's good to know about our guts health, what's happening inside our body. Yeah. Before I talk about the food and the diet. This morning we have a good Dharma talk, and come with Dr. Hwang's about exercise, stretching, and about diet. And come with this topic, again, it's emphasized on diet, and we align with our aim to eat healthy as part of our daily routine. Okay, so we start with this about gut microbiome. biota. So it's do you ever heard what is a microbiome in our guts? Basically, it's about the whole populations, microorganisms who live in our guts. So it consists of a lot, like a trillions of microorganisms consist of bacteria, viruses, fungi, even parasites. Yeah, they live with us because they stay with us. So it's like our fingerprint because how to say the guts microflora, the flora itself is different for each of us. So depends what we eat, how we what we gone through in our daily. So it build our own unique microbiota. So there are quite a lot of compositions here that I would like to share. Each of them, they are the residents, I can say the residents in our body. So they stay with us, not only in our guts, they also stay in different parts of our body. Yeah, they even though they look scary, we heard about bacteria, virus, fungi, parasites. All we heard of them are mainly bad things because we heard of infections. But these are the good residents. Yeah, and emphasize these are good residents in our body. So each of them, they have their own different functions. They do come up with different works. So in our real life, I think all of us, we have different jobs. Yeah, we work and we live, and all these bacteria or these microorganisms, they do the same in our body. They also work, they stay in our body, and they have different occupation or different jobs in our body. Yeah, some of them somehow they assist in nutrient absorption. They help to reduce our body inflammations. Yeah. Okay. So what does this guts microbiome do? So there are a lot of functions. So let's go with the first one. They help to break down the food and component, like for example, fiber. We have the fiber is part of our big uh, 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 the part of the diet. Yeah, so it's you have soluble fiber, insoluble. So somehow it helps to digest, our body digest, and this microbiome, they help to further digest the food, break down the fiber components. And second, they also, after they digest, they help to produce some bioactive molecules like short chain fatty acids. These short chain fatty acids are so important because it helps to regulate our gut's health and our general well-being. It also synthesizes the vitamins. All these are necessary vitamins in our body, especially B groups. Yeah. It also protects our guts from pathogenic bacteria. So they somehow they stay in our guts. They form a lining. They form the lining to prevent other bad bacteria go into our bloodstream, for example, go through our guts lining. They also help to shape or regulate our immune system. Yeah, why we say so? Because more than 70%, I can say that, our immune system located in our guts. Our guts lining, something called guts lymphatic tissue. Yeah, they are mainly resides in our guts lining, and they have the biggest challenge. They face the biggest challenge because what we consume is what we expose. Yeah, so what we eat, it bring down to our bring into our body. So definitely our guts is need to defend our body from what we eat. Yeah. So this is a fun fact that I probably need to uh need to ex need to share with everyone here. So as you can see here, our body, human cells, if we count by the number, our body cells compared to these residents, this microbiome, our body only consists of 43%. Then the rest of them, they are these microbiomes up to 57%. They are bacteria, fungal, viruses, archaea who live with us. So majority of our body, so we coexist with this good microorganism. So the ratio about 1 to 3 to 1, which come around close to 1.1 to 1% ratio. So let's see how important that we need to take a good care of them, even though they are considered a good microorganism coexist with us. If we take care of them well, then they also uh, uh, a good feedback to our health and body. So these are the distribution microbiota or the microbiome distribution in our body, or these the sites that exposed to our environment, from the airway to our the gastrointestinal tract, our guts, and to our skin. So most of these microorganisms, they stays with us. They stay in our guts. Yeah. So each different parts of our body, they have different species. So these bacteria, if they, they stay in our guts, for example, if they, let's say they go to our urine tract, you go to other parts of body, it's considered harmful. So so they are kind of very specific to certain parts of our body. So some parts need to share about this about part of the gut is this gut brain exists because somehow because our guts consist so many microbiota, the microorganism here, they do a lot of works in our guts, and indirectly, or I can say it's directly affect our health and our brain. So because after they harvest or they digest the food, especially the fiber and other food in the body, the guts, they produce this bioactive substance, for example, neurotransmitters, enzymes, these fatty acids, vitamins, and it does affect our brain and other parts of the organs. So it does influence our mood and our behavior. Yeah. So this is the slides to tell us that if, let's say, we don't have sufficient good bacteria in our guts, then it does affect our cognition, our mood, since part of more than 50% of dopamine, which is our happy hormone, and our serotonin. Serotonin is our mood hormone produced in the guts. Yeah. So that's why the food we choose important to because it can influence our physical and mental health. Okay, and another axis called gut skin axis, because basically it just tells us that the gut's health, it does affect our skin condition, and it also affect the brain function. Yeah, so how you know that what factors that it can affect the population in our guts? So other than diet, which we are going to focus, and other condition, like for example, if you are sick, sometimes we are given some antibiotics or certain medication, it does reduce or alter the population in our guts. Even stress, then part of the other environmental factor, aging, like lifestyle, for example, sedentary lifestyle, if you're not moving much, it slow down the digestion, the motility of the guts, for example, something like that. It does affect our guts, general guts health. Then it will produce some signs, and these are the signs that we are looking for to try to figure out, or try to try to see what is the problem with our guts. So other than general well-being, then we are looking for our mood changes, for example, like fatigue, depression, yeah, or it can be part of the guts issue. Yeah, more direct symptoms we can look for like bloatedness, constipation, diarrhea, the bowel habit changes. Yeah, just now mentioned about guts and skin exists, so we can look for skin issues, for example, acne. Yeah, the irregular bowel habits and new food intolerance. New food intolerance means that you, for example, probably have certain foods you don't have allergy in the past, and now you find that you have some problems and show some signs that you can't tolerate well with the food. That means that it can be part of the gut's health issue. Yeah, then come to the main topic. What we are looking for today is about probiotics. Yeah, so probiotics, mainly you can generally heard about the probiotics mainly come from our food, and in the market they do sell a lot of supplements contain probiotics too. Yeah, so generally probiotic is just the microorganisms that it provide the health benefit when we consume. So usually it was prescribed. For example, if let's say we fall sick or having diarrhea, or you can get it over the counter, the tablets or the sachet form of the probiotics. Yeah, so with the certain amount itself, it does shows that it can regulate back our guts flora and improve our guts immunity. Yeah. So the usual over-the-counter or even the prescription form of the probiotics does contain a few strains which are generally well known for these lactobacillus. It's other that it's most of the time it exists in our supplement forms and even for certain drinks. Yeah. Then the probiotics, the action itself is quite similar to what our just now what the microbiome in our guts do. So they regulate the guts pH, then they strengthens the barrier, then they do increase our immunity and general maintenance of our the gut's health and assist in the digestion. So the probiotics foods was shown here. So they are most of the time we are looking for those. I only show the one vegetarian food since we are mostly talk about to promote on the vegetarian. So probiotics foods sometimes we do confuse a little bit with fermented food because most of the fermented food contain probiotics. Yeah, but not all fermented food have probiotics. Yeah, but generally the one we are commonly seen in our diet depends on different country. They have different culture. Yeah, so it's easily available as part of our diet. So for example, like yogurt, miso, the pickled vegetables, like pickled cucumber, sauerkraut. Sauerkraut is the fermented cabbage. Then kefir is some fermented milk with grains. Yeah, the usual what we have here for in the Asia is tempeh, and some people I know that they do make their own kombucha at home. It's a fermented tea or some drinks made from fruits. Certain cheese, natto is fermented soy, kimchi is fermented cabbage again. All this fermented food does carry probiotics because during the culture itself, the live organism, it fermented, so it does contain probiotics. But the problem is that the way we cook it, if let's say we cook it in high temperature, or the product is pasteurized, for example, they want to keep it for to sell it in the market and they want to keep it for long, So pasteurize it, or even the way we cook it, it might kill the good bacteria, the probiotic in the food. That's why we can have the benefit of the probiotics. Okay, but before other than probiotic itself, I guess we need to know a little bit more about the prebiotic too, since the words sounds like a bit confusing. Yeah, probiotics mainly the life organism that benefit to our health, which we consume to our and it stay in our guts. Yeah, so prebiotic will be the food for the probiotic, because it's prebiotic. Pre means that before. So prebiotic mainly is a fiber then found in the food that which nourish the probiotic in the gut. So basically, it's just some sort of the normal the fiber. I can say prebiotic is part of the fiber, and it exists in our most of the whole food itself. Then it's good because it's how we keep our probiotic alive. Yeah. So the prebiotic fibers can see here that those are very commonly see the market, probably added into the drinks or added into the food that we consume. If you buy the food from the supermarket, for example, the processed food sometimes, yeah, which are these like inulin, galactose oligosaccharide, fructose oligosaccharide. All these are the common name that you can see from the ingredient list. So this diagram it shows a little bit clearer about the relationship of these pre and probiotics. So basically, prebiotic is just the food that we eat. Then they are basically the dietary fibers. Yeah, after we eat, then after that we know that the good microbiome or the good microorganism in our body, which is the probiotics, it can good microbiome in our body. It does consume this fiber. It's considered then with these, then they have these metabolites or these vitamins, the fatty acids produced. So somehow these are the probiotic are just the market name for these to identify what they are for us to consume. Yeah. So this is a very cute cartoon or comic that I search online that I find it's good to just to share with all of us here. So in fact, our guts, we always talk about good and bad microbes or these microorganisms. There are something called opportunistic microbes. They are basically the microorganism that they do no harm most of the time. But it don't have the similar function like our good microbes, like our probiotics here, to help to metabolize. They help to in digestion. They don't show no function. That's they are a group of the microbes like this. But when we fall sick, for example, when we fall sick, then they will lean towards the harmful side. So with the balance of the microbes, then only we can maintain our gut's health. So for example, if we have a lot of good microbes in our body, opportunistic microbes won't do any harm. They will lean more towards the good microbes. If let's say a certain condition that we lost part of our good microbes, for example, due to illnesses itself, then the opportunistic will lean more toward the harmful microbes. So it does impact to our general gut's health. So it also show that the way we need to the important that we need to maintain our gut's health. We need to find a way that to improve on our good microbes, so that it won't be outbalanced. I mean, the harmful microbes and opportunistic microbes won't outbalance the condition and causing illness. So what happens if they are disturbed? So yeah, of course it happens. We fall sick. We do fall sick, but most of the time, it's likely due to illness. But partly the choice of the food that we eat also can lead to this condition. So yeah, most of the time when it happens, that probably have a lot of symptoms that you might need to see a doctor's consult. Yeah, so generally there are so many illnesses that related to it. Yeah, it's causing diarrhea, metabolic issues, allergy, and bowel issues like irritable bowel syndrome, which is quite common. Yeah, some even lead to prone to get colon cancer, the bowel problem, with some mood issues. So I want to show this picture is about deforestation, but somehow it does reflect that how our guts condition can be. So when we are our forest, I mean, our gut in fire, for example, I mean, when it happens, we lost a lot of good microbiomes. So it shows that it's quite it looks quite it can lead to this problem, like the disaster it might happen, for example, like landslides. So these are the pictures that I find that it's quite tally to what we are on this topic. So natural disaster, it happened because of the imbalance in the ecosystem, and our body, since the microbiome, they are the residents in our body, and the amount is quite huge. It's comparable to our human cells. If we don't treat them well, for example, like we don't treat the environment well, we don't treat the environment well, pollution lead to disaster, right? Natural disaster. So if you don't treat them, the microbiome, maintaining the balances to uphold to increase the number of the good microbes in our guts, or generally our body. So it might happen something like this, the disaster. So disaster, what I mean here is the illness or the sickness. So again, it's the same thing that emphasize on. So we are what we eat lah. So yeah, generally the food choice itself is the keyhole, yeah, to the keyhole to maintain our gut's health. I want to share a little bit about fermented food here, because I tend to confuse. We always thought that the fermented food always contain probiotics, but in fact, not really the case. Yeah, so let's see. So probiotic is the live microorganisms, right? Yeah, then, sorry. Then the fermented food is it's fermented using the live microorganism, but along the way, you might lose it. It depends how we store it, we keep the food, or how we cook it. Yeah. So yeah, so fermented food not always equal to having the probiotic, but fermented food has a lot of benefits. I will share it later. Yeah. So let's see. If the diagram here shows that if, let's say, the easiest way for us to get probiotics, of course, dairy product, they have a lot, or the food that just now I mentioned about the food contain probiotics, the way we cook it, probably we can't cook it in high temperature. Yeah, and the way we keep the food, or even when we choose the fruit from the market. For example, we want to buy the, for example, I want to buy kefir or even the, yeah, the fermented milk from the market. So we try to choose the one not pasteurized, because pasteurization is the way to keep the food last longer, but it might, yeah, the problem is that it kills the living microorganism. Yeah. So if let's say, even though the food, fermented food contain good bacteria, good microbes, but if let's say we it really depends on the way we prepare the food. Yeah. So here, let's see. So so fermented food, the benefit of fermented food, it just not they are just I can say it's a because of the fermentation they happen for the food. So the nutrient is really, the food really break down into all these easily absorbed nutrients. So they, for number of food, not only contain fiber because they are whole food, they have a lot of fiber. They have probiotics. Then we need to keep it by choosing the proper cooking technique and the way we buy it from the market. Yeah. So with this, bear in mind that then with this we can choose the correct one and, yeah, consume the fermented food in the better way lah. For I mean the because of the way the probiotics still live live in the food. So these are the fermented food, even though just now mentioned that it might not contain probiotics, but if we prepare it and have a proper cooking technique, we still can reserve the probiotic good microorganism in the food to support our gut's health. So some myth or misconception about the food that I want to share here, that when we choose the food for probiotics, so we always choose like dairy products. In fact, all these plant-based sources exist. The tempeh, kimchi, miso, just the way that we prepare the food. And yeah, so the fermented food not always contain probiotic. If let's say we cook it in the wrong way, yeah. So the myth also always shows that people believe in supplements. Supplements are superior, but bear in mind that if let's say we consume enough prebiotic, we always can keep our good microbes alive. Then we don't need to rely on much on the supplements unless under certain medical condition that we need a huge amount of supplements to keep our our good microbes alive in our body. Yeah. Then so probiotic doesn't stay in our yeah, the myth is that probiotic colonize permanently, but unfortunately probiotics, it just transiently pass through. So we need to in order to keep our good microbes in our guts healthy, we need to always practice more whole food itself. For example, we get more fiber to keep our good microbes alive, because that's how we feed them. Yeah. So if let's say our microbes, they are consist of so many species, the more variety of fiber, the different food that we consume, then the better the different species of the microbes in our guts can be fed. So they will be more sustainable in this way. Yeah. Thank you anyway. So any question for me?
Yes, brother. Can I
Yes,
just
yes, brother. Okay.
ask about enzyme? Was spoken up earlier this morning by Brother Hwang. So for
Yes.
enzyme, do they do the same thing? Are they different?
What kind of enzyme again?
For
The enzyme, you mean?
enzymes generally, and generally, do they do the same work?
So, for example, if let's say, I guess the enzyme, what he mean is the fermented drinks. Yeah, if fermented drinks, yes.
So like I suppose it's a part of enzyme drink.
Correct. Correct. If let's say a part about kombucha is a well-known drinks that it keep the microbes, the good bacteria alive. Yeah. So of course, in my point of view, enzyme drink is part of the supplement. It's natural form. So without much sugar, is considered healthy.
Okay. All right. Any questions for?
Yes. I'd like to ask something, Brother Ching.
Sorry.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I'm Sister Moon here, Dr. Tan.
Hi. Hi, Sister
I
Moon.
wanted to ask if, let's say, natto, miso, tempeh, you buy back, and then we put them in the freezer and we eat them, let's say, slowly. Does like heat will kill certain of these things? Does freezing, that means very cold temperature, kill them as well?
Yeah, so good question. So, well, it's such true. I learned a lot when I prepared the slides. So good. So, when I searched the online the materials and the information, it shows that high heat kill the good bacteria, kill the bacteria. So, the low temperature, it doesn't. There's no related information about it. So I'm quite because bacteria usually our fridge store about -4 about up to 4 degrees. So
Yes.
it's not so low to kill the bacteria. So I'm quite sure that that's how we preserve the food in the fridge, but not the freezer. Yeah. So with the fridge itself, it sure can keep the microbes alive. Yeah.
Okay, so try not to keep it in the freezer then, huh?
Yes, correct. I don't have much information about the freezer, but 4 degree doesn't kill bacteria. They most of the time at most they hibernate. Yeah. So the only problem is the high temperature. Yeah, because we know most of the bacteria cannot stay high heat, especially 100 degree. That's why I mean that's how we cook miso, right? So we only add in after we cook the food.
That's right.
Yeah. So when the food cool down a little bit, then we add in. Yeah, some people natto, for example, they like to eat it without cooking. Yeah, but tempeh is the only problem. Tempeh is because the culture here we like to fry it. So when you fried it, then that's it. But if you don't fry it, it doesn't taste good. That's the problem. Some people more prefer the taste rather than the health. But anyway, all these fermented food, they are such a good nutrient sources because the beans already fully fermented, so the nutrients can be easily absorbed. So not if let's say it's for the nutrient purpose, yes, but in order to keep the probiotics, then probably we need to consider how we prepare the food then. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Brother Robert, you've got a question.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Tan.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm Robert here. Yeah, I got this question, I think, to both Dr. Tan and Dr. Hwang as well. What sort of probiotics do you personally consume?
Maybe I answer first. I personally don't consume probiotics. Yeah, so because I always believe in whole food plant-based. So if let's say we eat enough fiber, since we are most of us vegetarian anyway, I'm vegetarian. So anyway, I have enough fiber. I can, if I had in variety of vegetables and fruits, variety of fiber, it's good enough to feed my good microbes inside my guts. So I don't really need it. Yeah, unless I fall sick. But so far, I'm yeah, I'm quite fit. Thanks.
And Dr. Hwang.
When you purchase the probiotic, there's something that you need to be very careful about the shelf life. So like when you otherwise you should get the probiotic that they ship to you with the ice pack, because when they ship to you with the ice pack, that means they keep the temperature low so they can keep the species still alive. Otherwise, if you buy something from the shelf and then even though they say it's a 10 billion, and then when you got home probably only 5 billion left. So I always helping my patient that to get the probiotic with the ice package that they really seal with the ice and arriving my office, and I put in the refrigerator and then I give to the patient. That's number one. Number two, yes, there is some company that they say that they have a shelf life. So look at the shelf life. If they can leave on the shelf for certain time, then you probably can get that too. So that's just a very important key. Now, the second thing I would like to give you the tips is when you buy the probiotic, make sure that looking at the species, that exactly what you need, because there is a probiotic for the mental health, there's a probiotic for the allergy, there's a probiotic for the immune system, and there's a probiotic for different condition, and there are so many different species and doing different things. So consult with your GI or consult your nutritionist, that they will let you know that okay, for certain type of patient, they will give you a certain type of the species. Number three, the dosage. I mean, they could be from 5 billion to 40 billion, 14 strength. It's all, like I said, it's all depend on how much you need. For example, if you just have an antibiotic treatment, let's just say you have an infection and then you have an antibiotic treatment for 7 days or 14 days, then they wipe out all your good bacteria. Then you need to retake a lot of good bacteria back to your body. So which is I will let the patient say you probably need to take 40 billion probiotic to rebuild that. So think about that. The probiotic, just like a soldier, like a soldier, they're waiting for fight, ready to fight. So when the infection coming in, the more soldier that you have, it's better to protect you, because otherwise they would just die. Like boom, the first row died, the second row died, like an old school fighting, right? Like the two army, like they fight, they come together, and it's so it's if you have a really long term antibiotic treatment, you need to replenish a lot of probiotic, which is 40 billion. That's what I prescribe. If it's just a maintenance, like routine maintenance, probably 5 billion is good enough. So those are just my three tips for you guys.
Okay, we got a question from our chat group from Sister Carping on what type of cheeses are good. I'm not a fan of cheese, so I guess blue cheese will be excellent.
Yes, maybe I take these. I don't recommend cheese, sorry. Certain part, because I believe the dairy products not so healthy. Of course, some people like it because of the benefit, like protein, they like the calcium, but we can always get it from other foods. And the dairy product, cheese is a highly processed, and we make to emphasize this highly processed food, so it's not healthy. So they contain a lot of saturated fat, they contain small amount of cholesterol. Yeah, they probably are not a good choice.
Okay, so generally cheese, is there a specific type of cheese that you think is better than others?
No, I don't recommend cheese at all.
The
Sorry.
cheese are from so if the cheese from the cow, right, the dairy, and then make sure that the cow doesn't get the injection. That like a chicken, right? Now you know why the female right now, the girl, they get periods so early, because they eat the chicken with the hormone, and then they inject the hormone to the chicken, and so make sure that it's a grass feed cow, and then no injection and no chemical and antibiotic into their body, and those are the milk that is better than other different milk. And then using that good milk to make the cheese, it will be better. But again, just like the doctor says that, yeah, the cheese is actually not, because they are high sodium and it's a processing food. I don't promote processing food, but if you really want to eat cheese, that I will highly recommend to find out the source, that where the milk comes from and what kind of cow they raise, and do they breastfeed? Are they really no antibiotic injection and hormone injection? Then those are the good cheese.
Wow.
Yeah, and also too much cheese will create the gout. I mean, because I'm a chiro, so gout is a joint inflammation. So the cheese, too much cheese, it will causing the gouty arthritis. Yeah, gouty problem. Yeah.
Right. So, Brother Robert, you got another question. You overconsume probiotics. So can we get overdosage of probiotics? So there is talking about a dosage, right? Of probiotics. Is there a certain dosage? How do we know we're over consuming?
Yeah, like I
equal with
mentioned
Dr. Hwang
before,
just
right?
now.
5 is for the 5 billion is like a maintenance dose. That's what I prescribe. And if you really need a lot, then 40 probably the top. Yeah, the 40 billion, pretty much the top one that I will think that's good enough for the patient, unless they're really on the bad shape, and then the GI tract is really wiped out, and then they have an ulcer, and then they have a lot like a line breakdown. Then you probably prescribe more dosage, but usually 5 to 40 in between is good enough. But it's not really the dosage; it's really the species, like what colony, like what type of the strain that we should prescribe.
Okay. Right. Wow, wonderful. Are there any further questions from anybody? A great opportunity to have two doctors with us.
Yes, I have a question.
Please.
Yes, how about the cheese? What suppose it is naturally fermented and not highly fermented? So it'd be better, isn't it? Or it'd be the same?
Hi, brother. So I guess what you mean is not cheese, probably it's the milk, fermented milk. If fermented slightly, natural fermented milk is fine. Like just now what we share about kefir. What else? Yeah, some yogurt, natural like Greek yogurt.
Okay. Thanks for your answer.
All right. Okay. All right. Any other question? Okay, great. If you have no further questions, I would really like to thank again to Dr. Hwang and Dr. Tan again for the great sharing and really beneficial for all of us. Obviously, in searching the vessel of our practice is our body. So we need to take care of this vessel so that we can be able to help others. All right. So again, again to both of you, for both Brother Hwang and Brother Tan. So let us offer 3 bows to the Triple Gem as we end this session. So first bow, second bow, the third bow. We also offer 1 bow to our board masters. All right, you all have a great weekend as usual, and everybody is going to be extremely busy during the weekend and doing all the various Suchi activities, and we'll see you back again next week. All right.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Brother Chin, for the great hosting.
Bye, Kanan.
Thank you.
Have a good weekend.